Yes, so solution table. Now this is probably why you are here. So this is the allocation mechanisms and what kind of problems you have, what's the solution, and what are the remarks. So how do you ensure fairness? Solution could be you can define it mathematically with egalitarian curves. There is such a curve in math because there's everything possible in math, and you can probably do that. You can check out another paper to check out is cryptocurrency egalitarianism, a quantitative approach paper. This is the paper that I was talking about just now. It also depends on your token function. This paper talks about the currency function, the monetary function, and you can define ROI in a lot of different ways. So you can define fairness in terms of ROI based on invested capital. You can define fairness based on whatever the token function is. If the token function is currency, ROI based on capital works. If your token function is utility and the main utility is voting, then maybe outcome of vote or power of vote against the kind of vote opportunity that you have or voting intensity that you have. If it's security, it could be also ROI based on invested security. It really depends on the token function. So these are just remarks to consider. And this is not an exhaustive list. The other problem with allocation is how do you reduce the power of big players? You can allow small players to have more advantage, but maybe, is it fair to big players? Will this work? Or about the risk of cyber attacks, and are small players incentivized to make right decisions? Or you have no skin in the game, you can introduce staking, and because a lot of egalitarian coins include staking to deter bad actions, and when you deter bad actions, your ecosystem is a lot more fair, a lot more egalitarian. So, but what is the opportunity cost to staking, and is it worth it? Because when you stake, you essentially lock your tokens up. And if you're a small player, I don't want to be staking because the opportunity cost is my tokens being locked up. I can't exchange it, I can't liquidate it, I can't use it. So then it's not fair for me as a small player. So these are some things that you want to consider. For voting protocols, we're going to look at 8 different problems. So if you want something really easy, just very easy voting protocol, you can look at traditional voting, and it's used in the physical world. If we want to look at how do you log in voting choices, you can use commit review. You can use smart contract to execute it. If you want to include intensity of vote, we use quadratic voting. If we want to use rule-based voting, we use quorum voting. So we can add more types of rules when we have quorum voting, and you can mix this with other proposals. When we talk about information asymmetry, we can look at delegated voting, so you give the power to vote to someone else. If we're talking about scaling to large numbers of votes, we look at partial log commit review. So you committed to your preferences. Instead of staking on your vote, you're committed to your preferences. If we are looking at decentralized voting by the people, that means goes from bottom up. That means you as a part of this, it's really governance, right? You as part of your activity or part of the participant, you get to propose issues to be voted upon. That's that. And also, if you want to get true preferences of participants from the start, instead of just doing last minute vote swings, you can look at conviction voting. So these are just some very basic problems and solutions that is possible. And as always, you can download the solution tables. Okay, this is the QR code. You can download the solution tables, and it's 3 of them. Just download. You can reference to it, or you can just keep watching this thing if you want.